Right. Fantastic. Okay. Welcome, everyone. So we have a webinar here that we're going to just be discussing and going through the benefits and strategies surrounding a daily routine. Okay, and where there's multiple different benefits that we'll get into, and we've got a few examples and some strategies and some stepping stones to try and build up a good daily routine. Okay, the first thing I'll do for those that might not know who I am, my name's Matt, and I've been working with Fairfield City Council, more specifically Fairfield City Leisure Centres, for about 10 years. I've been a personal trainer for quite a long time. Made a bit of a transition recently into HR and WHS, but in my experience as a personal trainer, part of personal training and helping people with common goals like losing weight, building muscle, maintaining their health is to have a nice, good daily routine and have a training routine, weekly routine, monthly routine, and things like that. So without further ado, we'll get straight into it. The key points that we're going to be looking at today are the benefits of a routine. So what you get out of having one, all right? Not just, people hear, oh, you should have a routine, Okay, but why? Why should we have a routine? We'll look at some of the benefits. We'll have some examples of some different kinds of routines, and everyone has a different routine. There's not going to be just one set routine, but we want to just build up a routine that works for you. That's the main thing. We're going to have some points on how to start building a routine, and then how to maintain that routine as well. So the benefits of a routine is that you can improve your strengths and weaknesses. Anything that we work on when we first start doing any skill, anything really, we're not very good at it straight away. Think about your first time learning to drive. Think about seeing kids learning how to walk. They fall over all the time. They're not very good at it. But they keep trying, they keep practicing, and then they build their strengths up. Okay. And as you build a routine as well, you also improve your weaknesses, which is an important point. If we were to look at this graph here, if you were to consider the dark blue arrows as the strengths and the light blue arrows as your weakness, with a routine, even the weaknesses start to get a lot better as well. Although your strengths will always be better than your weaknesses, because if you're good at something, you're good at it. But without a routine, you still won't even increase the things that you're not very good at. Yeah. Some people, when they finally move out of home, they got to cook and clean, and suddenly the things that they've never known how to do before, they're starting to get better at them. Okay. You might not be a world-renowned chef, but just being able to make something is a good skill to have. The other benefit of a routine is to greatly improve your sleep, which can increase your energy and give you a much more positive mood, okay? Having an irregular routine and having a very irregular sleep pattern is something that won't benefit us too much. It can't be helped in some cases, okay? With family, work, and lifestyle, or even underlying health issues can interrupt the sleep routine, that's for sure. But trying to just maintain a routine is much more beneficial. Anyone who's raised little children knows that if they don't go down for their nap, they just become horrendous. And that's an important part. It's something that we start to neglect as we get older, thinking, oh, gee, I can tough it out. I've gone a whole day without sleep before. I'm fine. Yeah, you can do it once or twice, but more often you do it, you're going to lose your energy and you're just not going to feel well. Okay. The other benefit of a good routine is to improve your overall health with consistent nutrition. So nutrition is important, and you might have a pretty good diet yourself, but it's the consistency that's also important. If you were to think about, you want to grow a plant and you think, oh, water, it says it needs water once a day. And you think, nah, man, I'm going to make my plant tough. I'm going to water it once every 3 days. It won't survive. It needs consistent attention. Now, some plants need water once a week, once a month. Everyone's different. Everything can be different, but even the plant that needs water once a month needs it once a month. It just so happens that as human beings, we do need food every single day, okay? And we do need good, nutritious food. We can't just eat terrible things and expect good results. So those are all the different benefits of having a routine. We've got a few examples here of different routines. So we've got a 9 till 5, a pretty basic kind of routine. You know, wake up, have a shower at 7, breakfast, drive to work, start work, have a snack around 10:30, maybe a snack and a coffee as well. Lunch, maybe go for a little walk during lunchtime, get back to work, coffee and a snack later. And in this routine, we do have some exercise, as part of the routine. Drive to the gym, do your exercise routine, leave the gym about 7, dinner and chores, unwind and relax, bed by about 10. Now, again, this is a very just basic routine, okay? There's always things that get in the way of a routine, that interrupt it. There might be a lot of chores one night. One night might be pretty relaxed and you get to unwind and relax earlier. Not saying that this is what will happen every single day, but this is just a template. It's just a kind of plan. But that's a basic 9 till 5. The second one we have here is an early riser, someone who's up really early in the morning, and this can be a parent as well. So wake up quite early, this person. They wake up 4:30 and they do their workout straight away. Okay, maybe they got a little home gym. They don't have to go anywhere. They just wake up and they just start moving their body. And then from here, what we have, what is it? Breakfast and a shower, do a bit of reading perhaps, get the kids ready for school, get the kids to school, grocery shopping, maybe have a sneaky snack while they're at the shops, got some lunch later, get some chores done, snack, pick up the kids, and then with the kids, maybe there's sports, homework. That's possibly the reason that this person works out in the morning, because once in there in the afternoon, they got all the kids stuff to take care of. Dinner around 6, kids in bed, hopefully without any issues at 8 o'clock, and then a little bit of unwind and bedtime. Not too much there, but quite a busy day nonetheless. So again, this is just an example of what some people can do. And working in the gym, this actually wasn't a client that I kind of thought about. This is another co-worker that used to do this quite regularly, nearly every single day. And then the last example, you don't have to always get up early to be successful. You don't have to get up early to have a routine. And this was actually a client of mine who was an aspiring music producer. And this person was working with American music companies. And in order to work with them, this person needed to work really late at night. So this person would wake up about 10:30, have their breakfast at 11, go for an outdoor walk, or they'd come into the gym to do some yoga or some swimming. They would do a little bit of work during the day just to review what they're going to do later in the night, go do some grocery shopping. Their lunch was at 4:30 because, again, their breakfast was quite late. And at 5:30, they'd start work, have their dinner in the middle of the night, a late night snack. And then this person wouldn't finish their shift, their work, until like 2 or 3 in the morning. So they started getting into a good habit of doing a pre-sleep meditation in order to more comfortably go to bed at that late hour. So again, these examples are just to show that anyone can have a kind of routine, but it needs to be set up and it needs to be consistent. So they're always doing the same kind of thing. So in all of these plans, we've got a few things that we need to tick in any plan. These are, again, recommendations to build up a good routine that is effective. We need some sleep. So 6 to 8 hours is the usual recommended. Some people need more. Most people can survive on less, but it's not recommended. Again, think about that plant that you need to water. It says it needs 2 hours of sunlight. You're like, nah, I'm going to give it 20 minutes. It's not meant to do that. It might even still survive, but ideally it needs that much. Ideally, we need this much as well. We need that much sleep. You need to eat each day. So part of a good routine is involving food, when you eat it, what you eat, and how much you eat. And you want to eat for your lifestyle, okay? If you're an aspiring athlete, you probably need more nutrition than the average person, okay? If you've got a couple of conditions, if there's diabetes, high blood pressure, you could be gluten intolerant. So there's these things that are factors. So you need to make sure you're eating for that lifestyle. If someone who is gluten intolerant keeps eating gluten, they're going to have a real bad time. That's not a very productive routine for them. You need to move and exercise, okay? And move is in there. It doesn't mean you have to go to the gym. It doesn't mean you have to run. It doesn't mean you have to do crazy things, but you do need to move your body in order to maintain a good, healthy routine, okay? Maybe your job involves a lot of moving around and things like that. Awesome. You've burnt some calories and you've moved your body. And for any routine, we need to work or be productive, okay? So that doesn't mean you have to work for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You might have a part-time job that you're only working every second day, but each other day, you need to have a good, productive routine. And that could be involving family, could be involving kids and family, could involve your garden, watering and taking care of it, which is great. Maybe you love reading, so perfect. Read 1 or 2 books a day. It just depends on what you personally want to accomplish, but that's something that needs to be incorporated in a regular routine. So How do we start? That's the next part. We just need to decide what it is that you want to accomplish. So you need to have a goal in order. That's one thing that really helps build up a good routine, okay? Is to think what I want to accomplish. So that would be the long-term goal. That's the overarching kind of thing. And then there's sub-goals around here. So in the sub-goals, when you accomplish this one, it helps accomplish this one, which overall helps accomplish this. And that's something that, there's a building block to a routine. So if we had a little example about a nice big goal, we might have how to start. We want to get to the moon. So that's the thing, that's the goal. We want to get to the moon. And as a part of that, we have all these little sub goals to help us get there. So it's expensive to get to the moon. We need lots of money. We could probably get that from government. They like to fund space things, I think. And we could get some sponsors. So we get some people that want to see us go to the moon. We're going to need a rocket. Okay, so in order to build a rocket, well, we're going to need some engineers. And this money that we got, we're going to pay the engineers and we're going to get some metal so they can build a rocket. We need astronauts. Astronauts need to be pretty fit and tough, so we better set up a boot camp to keep them healthy and strong so they can have the training that they need. And again, we're going to use this money to buy some spacesuits. And you can see here then the other thing it's important to go to the moon, we need math. We've got to do the math. So we hire scientists and we use computers to do the math. And once we've got all these things, we've got money, a rocket, astronauts, and we've done the math on how to get there, then we're able to eventually, maybe with some twists and turns, get ourselves up to the moon. And it's all part of that like big building block of having a routine and having a main goal and then all the sub goals that help make it possible, and then we can all high five and we can live in a village on the moon. But that's a bit more far-fetched. That's not exactly daily planning just for a normal routine. So we want to look at for ourselves. Now, if the goal is to have a daily routine, if you say, I want to have a daily routine, I feel like I get lost all the time and I don't have energy, or I'm not prepared with enough food, all these kind of things. So we had the different sub-goals. We had sleeping for 6 to 8 hours. Okay, so a couple of factors in sleeping is go to bed on time. That's one way you can help make sure you get 6 hours of sleep. If you got to wake up at 6 and you go to bed at 1, it's not possible for you to get 6 hours of sleep. It's just, there's no more time. So you need to get yourself to bed earlier. Another thing that helps you get 6 to 8 hours of sleep is staying asleep. Some people find themselves being interrupted, okay? Maybe it's hard for them to stay asleep. So that's something that can be worked on. You need to eat for your lifestyle in order to have a regular daily routine. So maybe you got to go shopping. Maybe you got to plan at some point during the week, maybe on the weekend, that you go shopping to get all the food that is going to be necessary for you to have a good week, okay? And then once you have that food, you don't cheat on yourself. So you don't go, well, I've got my healthy salad here in the fridge, but I'm going to go order something. That's just not going to help you maintain that routine because you've broken it and gone to do something else. You need to move your body. So how can you do that? Well, you can choose fun exercise. I really like to put fun in there because it needs to be enjoyable. If you don't like it, you don't want to go back to it, okay? So as a simple example, maybe you used to do a lot of dancing, okay, some years ago, and you always really enjoyed dancing. So maybe you join a dance studio or a dance club or something along those lines. So then you're doing some exercise, but you're having a good time while you're doing it. A simple example as well for moving your body is to get your daily steps in, maybe 7,000 or 8,000 steps. Maybe if you have a step counter and you're only getting 4 or 5, and you don't really have the time, or you don't want to go and do different exercise like dancing, you could just make sure you go for a couple more walks, and you're starting to build that routine. You're starting to build those positive habits. And then you want to work, be productive during your day as well. Okay, so you want to try and enjoy your job as best you can, okay? Or you can always look at getting into a changing your job around so that it is more enjoyable. It's not impossible. It's not possible for everyone, but it is a part of a goal to help make your work be more productive, okay? Or even just a hobby for yourself. You want to have a hobby that you do regularly that adds to your daily routine or weekly routine. So when we look at all these things, that still seems like a lot. It still seems like, well, Matt, I want to have a daily routine, but That's like 8 different things that I need to try and do. I don't think I can do all 8 of them. You don't have to do all 8 of them. Start with small goals. Start with one thing at a time. So you pick one of those things, and hypothetically, let's say you want, all right, I'll move my body more. Don't worry about the sleep. I'm not going to worry about the food. I'm just going to worry about moving my body a bit more. So I say, all right, pick some fun exercise. And I'm just going to use that dancing example just to keep it consistent. Okay, so you're, all right, I really like dancing and I'm going to go do Zumba at the gym. And there's a little dance studio nearby that does lessons on a Thursday night and stuff like that. So I'm going to go to Zumba 2 times a week. I'm going to go to this dance studio 2 times a week. Great. You started doing some fun exercise. And then you do that for a little bit of time and you go, you know what? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm dancing. I'm doing some fun exercise. I'm moving my body. I'm going to do something else. All right. Maybe then you pick, I'm going to eat for my lifestyle. I'm going to eat a little bit better now that I'm moving around more. It's been maybe a month of doing some dancing. So what am I going to do to improve my eating? You know what? I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go shopping once a week and get all the things that I need, with like vegetables and enough meats and everything so that I don't get caught out with doing other stuff. So now, and you do that for a little bit of time. So you started moving your body, which is great. You chose fun exercise, you chose dancing, so you're moving a bit more. You decided you're going to start eating for your lifestyle, you started going shopping. And what starts to happen, as soon as you start to get a bit of a routine in some areas, other areas start to come into play, okay? You start feeling better because you're exercising and you're eating well, so you're actually starting to enjoy being at work a little bit more because you feel better, okay? Before you know it, you start staying asleep each night. You're a bit tired from dancing, okay? You're enjoying your job a bit more. You're being a bit more productive. So you're a little bit more tired from your day. So you actually stay asleep. So you actually managed to start getting the 6 to 8 hours of sleep now, which is fantastic. You didn't even have to prioritize that. It started to come into play on its own, okay? You're feeling more productive at work. And because you started dancing, well, you picked up a hobby now. You started to pick up a hobby, you're enjoying it, and a hobby is a part of your routine, all right? You start to prioritize your sleep more. You're going to bed on time because A, you're tired, and B, the bloody people at the dance studio signed you up for a dance competition, and so you want to make sure that you're well rested for every single rehearsal. And you don't even have to focus on your daily steps. You're doing that much dancing that you've killed 11,000 steps a day. Okay, and you're just feeling good, so you're not ordering takeout. You've done your shopping. Okay, you're feeling good, and all these things just start to fall into line. Okay, so it doesn't get taken out all in one go. It's built up, and before you know it, you have a nice daily routine, daily or even weekly routine that you're sticking to, and yeah, things are just going much better for you that way. So how do you maintain this? Well, first, you need to build up to any kind of routine through those small steps that we were talking about. But then to maintain it, we need to be consistent, okay? Whichever one you picked, and again, I'll just keep going with that dance example so I don't get all over the place. So, all right, I'm going to dance. You need to go every week, okay? If you start just, I'm going to go to this dance studio once every 3 weeks, it's not consistent enough for it to become a part of your routine. Okay. It's also important to be prepared. Whatever changes you're trying to make, you have to prepare for those changes. Pack your training clothes. Okay. Pack spare clothes, pack a towel, make sure you pack some water. So you got to be prepared for this new routine that you're trying to accomplish. Okay. If you start failing in those kind of things, it doesn't feel like you're actually, moving forward in building that routine. To maintain it, you want to make it fun. Stick with what's enjoyable. If you're thinking about the food as well, and you go, do I have to eat broccoli? Do you like broccoli? No, don't eat it then. You don't like it. All right. If it's no good if you say, well, I hate every vegetable. You're going to have to learn a little bit. You have to learn to like a few of them. And that's where you just keep on searching until you go, you know what? I really like spinach, carrots, and tomatoes. Great. Make a salad out of that and then keep having your vegetables. Okay. Be flexible with yourself as well. Be flexible and be patient. If you did miss one dance session or you didn't eat that salad, you don't need to beat yourself up about it, but that's where you come back to being consistent and being prepared the next time that comes up. Okay. And be prepared to learn more about yourself. Be flexible in that you might start dancing for a few weeks and go, actually, I don't like this anymore. maybe I don't enjoy dancing like I used to. All right, let's go find something different then. Maybe you enjoy gym, weightlifting, going for just walks, yoga, martial arts. There's so many different things that you can keep trying if we were thinking about that be active kind of goal. All right, another couple of ways, tracking your progress. So time can go by really quick. I mean, we just went through 4 months of shutdown, and it felt really long while it was happening. And now we're not completely out of it, but we're at the end part. And gee, did it go quick as well. Like time always is very funny that way. So tracking your progress can be really, really good to make sure that you go, oh man, nothing's really changing, before you look back on maybe a diary or any kind of record to go, gee, I've been doing this for 8 weeks and I didn't mess up any week. Like I kept going to my exercise, and I haven't look in your bank statement maybe, and you go, the last time I ordered my other meal was 6 weeks ago. I've been really good. And then you also want to reward yourself. Okay, you can reward yourself in whatever way you see fit. Okay, maybe you want that cheeky takeout meal because that's something you really enjoy. Great. Maybe you want to go to a relaxing spa as a reward to say, good job, pat yourself on the back and say, I maintained a routine. You can even just reward yourself with a literal pat on the back, or telling yourself well done, and rewarding yourself mentally by saying, I did it, I maintained a routine. Okay, these are some strategies to help you keep going with any kind of changes that you make. Okay, and the other thing is, be patient. Always be patient when you're trying to teach yourself something new. Your moment will come as long as you don't give up. It might take you a few tries to get a routine started. Maybe you start with the exercise, it doesn't quite work. So pick something else that you think, you know what, I really want to build up a routine. Maybe I'll start with my sleep. Don't worry about food, don't worry about exercise. I'm going to start trying to sleep a little bit more. And those are just some examples where you can pick something a bit different to try. If you try it once, it didn't quite work, you try it again, try it a little bit different. Okay. That kind of brings us to the end. So I hope that's been nice and clear as I've been going along. I really kind of I enjoy doing this kind of stuff. So once I get going, I just keep going. And the slides obviously really help. So are there any questions? I don't know if I missed anything I didn't see anything pop up in the chat. Okay, oh no, there we go, all good. So Trev, feel free to throw any questions through if anything's come up.
Yeah, thank you again for everyone for joining in. My name's Trevor. As Matt's one of our staff here at the Leisure Centres. So if you've got questions for Matt, we've got everyone currently on mute, and we would want to unmute everyone. So if you've got a question for Matt, just shoot it through on the chat to him, and that way you can read it and call it out. If there's anything really specific that you don't want to sort of put out online, you can reach out to us at the Leisure Centres, or if you know Matt through work, that's fine. You can reach out to him individually, or us at the Leisure Centres, and we can look to answer your question that way. But we'll give everyone a couple of minutes to ask Matt a question. We've also recorded this session and a session that we did last week, so we'll look to put them out on some different avenues, including social media for those who aren't council employees, and for council employees, we'll let you know internally, so that you can rewatch this one and the one that we did last week if you missed out on that one. So I'll give it another minute or two for Matt to get any questions, and then we'll finish it up. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Trev. How long before going off to sleep should you get off screens? Earlier the better. It's hard to assess that. Advice is usually an hour to 90 minutes at least. Okay, but we're all a bit different, and also depends on what you were looking at on your screen. Okay, if you were looking at some drama, if you were scrolling through news articles perhaps, and it was really getting you perhaps emotional, or if you were looking at things that are conflicting, that could be something that gets your adrenaline running a little bit. So that's something that used to happen for me. I'm not a crazy online gamer, but I did used to play some games on my computer and things like that. And working and stuff, like I used to work in the gym, and the gym wouldn't finish until 9:15. I go home about 9:30, have something to eat, so I wouldn't get onto the game until about 10 o'clock. And games can be half an hour each. I'd play 3 or 4 games. It's 11:30 at night, but because I'm playing the game, my heart's pounding and I'm trying to win and things like that. And then I used to find it very hard to sleep after that because I was all worked up from playing the game. So I learned, you know what, the only time I can play that is like middle of the day, because then it doesn't affect me. So yeah, but you still, for time wise, for the brightness of the screen, you want to get off at about an hour to 90 minutes before sleep. I know that's hard as well. Some people go to bed and then they're like, okay, I'm in bed now, let's go. And then they just sit there and just enjoy their phone. Tricky situation. But yeah, hopefully that kind of answers it for you, Debbie. I'd say an hour to 90 minutes really helps. If you have any, the other thing that's good as well is you can change the screen to have a nighttime kind of option that makes it have an orange hue, and that makes it much more relaxing on your eyes rather than being really, really bright white light. It's more of a dull orange, and that decreases your brain activity as well. Well, it doesn't decrease it, it just doesn't stimulate it as much as the white screen.
All right, Matt, I've got a question here. This is probably more something I can just answer for you. So just been asked, how will these sessions be available? Not sure if we've actually got any non-council staff here. For council staff, we'll be able to put this on our internal options, like objective in that. So I will send an internal email out once we've got those available. For those looking at accessing it externally from that, we're just looking at the best options, whether it's for YouTube or something like that. So we'll be able to put it out on both the leisure centres and council social media, so the Facebook pages. So just keep an eye on those in the coming days. And when you see a post saying, thanks everyone for attending, here's the links to the 2 videos that we've created, you can access via those. So we'll get those up as soon as we can. All right, great. Well, as I said, unless Matt's got any more coming through to him directly, we'll probably wrap it up here. So I'm just going to turn off the recording.